Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. As you guys can see up on the screen today, I want to talk a little bit about Sofi Technologies Incorporated. This is ticker symbol SOFI or SoFi for those of you who are maybe not as familiar with this company or with the stock. And there's a couple different things we need to talk about today. One, of course, today being the very last trading day of 2022. Now, for some people, this will be an exciting thing because 2022 was a year of a lot of failures, especially in the minds of a lot of investors or people who are invested in the markets, whether retail investors or bigger institutional investors or whatever. Some people are going to be sad. Obviously, the year's coming to an end. Another year's passing. We're going to think about the things we could have done, would have done, should have done in 2022. But I do think it's good to look back on the year. And even with all the money we lost or potentially lost or probably lost or whatever, also think about the things that we learned from this past year and use those lessons going forward. Because, yes, of course, this year was not a good one for mini stocks, for the markets, for SoFi, down 71%. But again, if you believe in the stock market in general, and you look back to all the other crashes and the other times things have gone bad, you can see, hey, there's usually a light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully there will be as well. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be a light at the tunnel for every single individual stock, or that SoFi is for sure going to come back or anything like that. But if you believe in the leadership, if you believe in the company, if you believe in the business model, and you are able to lower your cost basis and average down over time, if this thing does, run up over the next couple of years, it can still be a success, even though 2022 was largely a failure, at least in terms of the stock price, not necessarily in terms of the company and the things that they were able to accomplish. But yes, last trading day of the year. Again, another not so great one for SoFi, down 2.23% on the day today. That puts them down right around 7% for January or for December. And like I said, down 71.37% year to date, which is crazy. But when we look at the rest of the market today, the whole market still continues to trend down as we get ready to turn our calendars over. Dow Jones down 0.82%, S&P down 0.95%, NASDAQ down a little bit over 1%, and the Russell down 0.63%. So the end of the year is not going to be any kind of relief for anyone so far. At least it looks like we still got a little bit of time left in the trading day, so some of this stuff could change. But yeah, there we are. And of course, as always, we have plenty of stories to talk about today. One of the biggest ones being a potential, company or group or whatever that could be acquiring SoFi, or that some people speculate could be acquiring SoFi. We'll get into that towards the end. But first, this is from Yahoo Finance. SoFi Technologies is attracting investor attention. Here's what you should know. SoFi has recently been on Zacks.com's list of the most searched stocks. Therefore, you might want to consider some of the key factors that could influence the stock's performance in the near future. Shares of this company have returned not a very good percentage over the past month versus Zacks S&P Composites minus 4.8% change. So, hey, doing a little bit better than the S&P 500 composite over the past month. But the Zacks technology services industry, to which SoFi belongs to, has lost 4.8% over this period. Now, the key question is, where could the stock be headed in the near term? And I don't really think that's necessarily the question. I am much more curious where the stock could be headed in the medium to long term. Who really cares where it's going in the near term? We're already down 71%, people who have been holding this thing throughout the whole year of 2022. So who cares where it's going in the near term? Yeah, it'd be nice to see some near term gains, but I don't generally talk about quick flips or short term trading or anything like that. We're looking at the longer term, but we do have some earnings estimates revisions to talk about. Our analysis is essentially based on how sell-side analysts covering the stock are revising their earnings estimates to take the latest business trends into account. For the current quarter, SoFi is expected to post a loss of 0.9 cents or 9 cents per share, indicating a change of plus 40% from the year-ago quarter. The Zacks consensus estimate has changed minus 1.6% over the last 30 days. From the current fiscal year, the consensus earnings estimate of minus 44 cents points to a change of plus 56 from the year prior. So you can see year over year, things are definitely heading in the right direction for SoFi. We also have the revenue growth forecast. While earnings growth is arguably the most superior indicator of a company's financial health, nothing happens as such if a business isn't able to grow its revenues. For SoFi, the consensus sales estimate for the current quarter of $424.17 million indicates a year-over-year change of plus 48.5%. Again, another indicator that is doing very, very well year over year. Last reported results and surprise history. SoFi reported revenues of $423.99 million in the last reported quarter, representing a year-over-year change of plus 53%, and EPS of negative 9 cents for the same period compares with negative 5 cents a year ago. So not necessarily the best there, but the surprise was plus 10% on the upside. That is, of course, good to see. And then we have valuation. SoFi is graded F on the valuation front, indicating that it is trading at a premium to its peers. So that might be something a little bit to watch out for. Could SoFi still be overvalued, undervalued, whatever. Again, some things might be pointing to, SoFi maybe being a little bit over in the overvalued territory, at least from this Zacks.com stuff. The facts discussed here and much other information on Zacks.com might help determine whether or not it's worthwhile paying attention to the market buzz about SoFi. However, its Zacks rank number 3 does suggest that it may perform in line with the broader market in the near term. So again, according to this one website, Zacks.com, they think there's definitely some good things about SoFi. I think there's some bad things. I think in the near term, if you're looking, 3 to 6 months out, maybe even less than that, it could be overall just performing in line with the market, which if you're just going to invest in a single stock that's going to perform in line with the market, it's probably not worth the overall risk. You'd rather be just investing in the market at that point and having less risk. But yeah, that's just one person's opinion. Again, of course, as always, do your own research, due diligence, all of that good stuff. Here is Seeking Alpha with a little article about SoFi. It may get worse for this penny stock. SoFi Technologies CEO purchased a boatload of shares of the fintech in December. The chart profile has, despite those transactions, further disintegrated, and valuation multiples continue to be excessive. So again, another site, another writer, another article, a little bit worried about the valuation multiples of SoFi still. And again, they are maybe on the bearish side, even despite the fact that Noto has continued purchasing shares of his own company in December, which of course could usually be seen as a pretty good sign. But yeah, that's just at least, again, another case there for SoFi. But here is a big thing that I did want to talk about. This is what a lot of people out there are talking about. The case for Goldman Sachs or whoever else, JP Morgan, whatever big financial institution, to potentially purchase SoFi at some point in the future, whether that be 2023, whether that be beyond, because of so many of the great things SoFi is doing on the technology side of things with, Technesis and Galileo and all these other things, all these other services are able to offer. People understand the value of these services, and they think that a company or groups or whoever like JP Morgan, like Goldman Sachs, whoever, even somebody else maybe later on down the line could be very, very interested in gobbling up SoFi to bring in those services and use them to their own advantage going forward in the future to have that competitive edge on some of their competitors. So, earlier this year, Goldman Sachs failed in its internal retail banking efforts and axed their group while moving the rest to other departments. Just recently, Goldman Sachs let go of another 4,000, most likely from other departments. This opens the door to 2,000 employees of SoFi. Goldman Sachs is already in the top 10 stockholders of SoFi. That's definitely a very, very interesting note. Goldman Sachs needs SoFi's proven technology and growth potential. There were unconfirmed reports of Noto placing a $6.60 buy offer on Goldman Sachs. Reminds me of the scene in Godfather 1 where Joe Green tells Michael Corleone, "You don't buy me out, I buy you out," which is kind of funny. That aside, Goldman Sachs cannot afford to wait much longer, nor can it try to build its own fintech from scratch. That's, seems very opinionated, not really based in much fact there probably. Goldman Sachs would be wise to place an initial offer north of $10 and be prepared to go much higher. Wiser yet to do it before 228. My money is on Noto. Expect continued and accelerating growth in SoFi. And this is something that could be very, very interesting. Again, people understand why SoFi makes for a very, very good buyout candidate. And again, looking at the current stock price of $4.48, if somebody does try to buy out this company at $7, $7.50, $8, $10, $12, $15, whatever, that could see some very, very nice returns for shareholders. Now, hey, if we look at SoFi and the prices it's had over time, 22, 23, 25, hey, people who bought shares up there, they're not necessarily loving it if this thing gets bought out at $8, $10, $12, $15, whatever, because people who believe in SoFi in the long term, they believe that, hey, 10 years from now, this thing could be $30, $40, $50. But in the short to medium term, it could get a lot of people out of a big, big, big hole who are buying at, $6, $7, $8, whatever, if this thing does end up getting bought out for 10, 12, 15. Now, I don't think anything like this is going to happen anytime soon. But if we heard at some point in 2023, 4, or even 2025 that SoFi does, have some offers or ends up getting bought out by one of these big financial institutions, I wouldn't be totally shocked. So it's definitely something to keep on your radar and definitely something to have, at least considered in your kind of investment thesis for SoFi Technologies. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully you are ending your 2022 right. I can't wait, to be back with you guys in 2023, and I hope the new year treats you right. Stay safe, stay healthy. I will catch you guys soon. Peace.